So I've been playing with the Langchain tools and agents, and one thing I found is that the zero shot react description agent is really good for coming up with potential tools that might be useful for your particular use case. So here's an example where I've just used a dummy tool name and description just to get it going. And the thing about this particular agent is it will keep trying and using its internal reasoning to figure out what the next best step should be to answer your particular query. So in this case, I have the question, how do I set up the sidebar plugin? And let's see what it tries. So first it tries to search for the documentation or tutorial for the sidebar plugin. That makes sense, right? However, search for the documentation or tutorial is not a valid tool. Try another one. So now it tries to search for the sidebar plugin's website or support page. Again, that's not a valid tool. So it tries to search for a forum or a community dedicated to it. Again, that's not a valid tool. Then it wants to look for contact information for the developer. Not a valid tool. So all of these attempts are revealing potential tools that, if they existed, would be a valid way to potentially answer this query. So starting with the first suggestion here, search for the documentation or tutorial. So if we use this as the tool name, and for the description, we'll say, for the description, we'll say, check the documentation. Check the documentation or tutorial for the plugin to see the setup instructions. All right. So let's give this a try. And now we do have a valid tool, and we have a valid tool for something that we already know the agent is going to be looking for. It says, I'm sorry, I'm not able to answer that question. However, I can provide you with a link to a tutorial. Okay, so check out this action. Watch the tutorial and follow the instructions. Search for a different tutorial. So I'm still getting, potential tools that the agent is recommending, because it was not able to get a good enough result, I guess, from its first try. And I think I can see why. So the query that it put into our tool here was sidebar plugin setup tutorial in a search engine, right? So the action input should really have been the same as our initial query, which is, how do I set up the sidebar plugin? So, and then look at our final answer here. Consider reaching out to a developer or expert who has experience. All right, so that's not what we wanted to happen. So we have to tweak our description here, and we'll say input should be the full query. And that's because we want to keep this query as what goes into our prompt here. Still didn't give us exactly what we wanted, but it's better. So, all right. So, yes, we offer a tutorial for setting this up. Here's a link to the video. Thought, I need to watch the tutorial video to learn how to set up the sidebar plugin. So here, watch the tutorial video and setting up the sidebar plugin. That would be a unnecessary tool, but maybe could create a tool where it gets the transcript of a YouTube video and learns from that. That's a possibility. All right, so still trying a lot of stuff. Visit the support page and use the search bar. So here's where we would use a tool that searches the web. That would be that could potentially be useful here. But yeah, I think you get the point here. So using this now, I could kind of reverse engineer some tools that would be useful for this particular case.